I think we'll start the presentation. So, François, I hope you are hearing me well. Let us know if there is any problem. Okay, perfect. Thanks for the confirmation. So we'll start with this presentation. So once again, I'm Cedric from XWiki SAS. Clément is here with us to help to provide answers if needed.
Hello.
I will be the main presenter for around the next 40 minutes, and then we'll switch to the questions and answers. So the idea of today's webinar is to share with you what you can expect from XWiki, some key features that you will find in it, and some tips and tricks to see how you can get the best of it. So we start with the basics. First key information regarding our organization. So as stated, I'm from XWiki SAS, meaning it's a company that is providing most of the developers that are responsible for the development of this open source tool. XWiki SAS is providing paying services, for example, and support contracts for many clients around the world. So we are providing these developers to allow XWiki.org to exist. This tool has been there for around 20 years now, more than 20 years now. Most of the decisions are made by the community, meaning you have access to our forum, for example, where you can see all the ongoing discussions for technical topics. We are also having a public issue tracker that you can have access to. You can open issues there too. We are having monthly releases for XWiki, and once a year an LTS version that is released around October or even November. As part of XWiki SAS services, we are also providing one yearly recommended version, meaning around April or May, we'll have an extra set of testing sessions made by our QA team to allow our clients that are waiting for additional features that were implemented after the release of the LTS version to benefit from this extra feature. And so to have a product that is ready to use in production. All of our developments are made through the LGPL license. Even our paid apps are released with an open source license. So that was the key information regarding our organization and the differences between XWiki, the company, and XWiki, the product. Now, regarding the open source philosophy, our involvement in ethics sovereignty of your organization. We want to always make sure that data is yours, meaning you can choose to host XWiki on your premises or to have it hosted by ourselves in France. We rely on OVH infrastructure. We allow you to do full export of your wiki, meaning you won't get locked in it. So you have an included feature of full export through the XAR format. You have also a public documentation that allows you to get relevant information regarding installation, upgrades, and of course administration of your solution. We are always trying to have many options allowed for the installation itself, meaning we are not relying on a single tool. For example, for databases, we are supporting many of them like MariaDB, PostgreSQL. We are supporting every latest browser's release, so mostly Firefox, Chrome, and Edge, for example. We are offering support for 2 servlet containers also, for example, JT and Topcat. So the idea behind that is to always have a backup solution, because, well, open source products and open source solutions can at one time fail. So the idea is to always have a solution in case of well, bad behavior of any open source products we are relying on. Regarding professional support, we also support natively LDAP and SSO authentication, as well as Office integration, meaning that you can get nice integration into your existing system and get the users to do not modify their usual way to connect and use tools that you are already offering to them. After that, so we'll start to focus on the features that you can expect from XWiki. Well, first point is to explain a little bit what our clients are using XWiki for. So there are many ways to use it internally, for example, with an intranet base, some internal knowledge bases, for support, for product documentation, or for that simple way of taking meeting notes. But it's also useful to have an external tool to offer content to your end users or to any clients that you may have. So it's useful to deliver a support platform tool, or even be a front tool for a public website. It's also possible because XWiki allows a fine-tuning of the rights to have a mixed internal and external tool with some part of the hierarchy dedicated to your external users, for example. So the key earnings of these features in your organization may be that you'll have a knowledge centralization, meaning you won't have any information that are difficult to find. The important topic is the concept of single source of truth, meaning, well, you'll have one information in one place. For your end users, this will imply a reduced time to spend to find an information. The idea also is to get no more documentation in your mails. That is sometimes a real problem when people are leaving, for example. And so the idea is to not lose anymore any information, even after a modification. So everything is in a single place, and also you have the ability to roll back any modifications that were made, meaning that you will never lose content. So now, how can you expect XWiki to deliver these benefits? Key features of XWiki are most of them are the ones that we are all expecting from standard wikis, but we are also having some specificities that may invite you to test it. So the first part is indeed structured data, meaning you can have as nested pages as necessary, virtually infinite hierarchy of pages. You can also have, if you needed, some sub-wikis created, meaning there will be some sort of isolation between these sub-wikis and your main wiki. You just have to keep in mind that sub-wikis are a flat organization in XWiki, meaning you can't have sub-wikis of sub-wikis, but you can have an infinite tree of sub-pages. As stated in the previous slide, you also have the access to the full history of modifications for pages, for attachments, and for comments. You also have a native access to WYSIWYG editor and to real-time edition for pages or office files if you set it correctly. So real-time editing is not mandatory. It's an option that can be deactivated. Also, you have to make sure that you can allow WebSockets into your internal system. One of the key features of XWiki is indeed the macros. So we'll see a bit later in this presentation what are macros. It allows your end users to have more dynamic content in the pages, meaning you can have, for example, a table of content in your page. You can also include a page in another page, for example. To allow you to have as many macros as needed, you have a set of over 900 extensions available in our public repository. You also have access to an internal tool included into the instance, meaning that you are able to install, upgrade, or remove any extensions that you may need. XWiki also offers a set of pro-apps that are useful to extend native capabilities of XWiki. You have also fine-grained access rights management, meaning that you can set a feature at every level of the hierarchy of the tree. You can set edit, view, comment rights, as well as admin rights for every user or for every group of users. And that's the best way to handle rights management in XWiki. You can define groups, associate users to them, and then grant access to these groups to specific parts of the subtree. And finally, there are some easy ways to tweak the look and feel of your instance to better meet your needs. Now we can start reviewing in more detail these functionalities. So first key information I wanted to share with you is that you can have all kind of content included in your instance, as well as a hierarchy that is adapted to your need. So you can have raw pages with nearly only text in it, but you can also add files, so attachments like images, videos, PDFs, and Office files that can be directly embedded in pages if needed through extensions that are natively available. There's also the ability to search through PDF and Office content directly through the search engine that is offered in the product. You have also the ability to import content from mostly Word and Excel files, so it relies on a LibreOffice feature that is allowing the tool to import these kind of files. We'll see later how it ends up into pages. And we also offer some extra tools to allow you to import content from other wikis, like, for example, Confluence or MediaWiki. So finally, with XWiki, you are able to define your own hierarchy and tweak rights for each of its parts. Now let's dig deeper into XWiki global layout. I think I will switch to the demo itself because it will be easier to show that part of XWiki. So this is the standard way to have an instance set for XWiki. So you can decide to have one or two columns of navigation panels. We can see on the top left some of the native applications that are installed. So just there we are on our cloud demo on a cloud demo instance. That's the default you'll get and that you can get for free by trying XWiki. We are also having a navigation tree that comes by default, but that can be tweaked to better meet your need. We have the breadcrumb that is contextual, that is showing where you are in the hierarchy. You are also having, well, the full page where you can edit your content, create a new page, and have access to an advanced menu that allows you to, well, administer the page, meaning tweaking rights, tweaking the layout, and the theme of that is applied to your page or your sub-pages. You have standard actions like copy, move, rename, or delete the page. You just have to notice that delete is a specific right, meaning you are not having this right by default. There you can see that I'm logged as an admin, so that's why I have all the rights. We'll see a bit later, well, in the next slide, what the editor looks like. At the bottom of the page, we are having useful tabs for accessing comments, attachments, history, and generic and technical information regarding the page. All these tabs can also be hidden if needed, meaning, for example, for a public instance, you may not want to external users to have access to your key information regarding this page or to the history of modifications, because if it's a documentation, you may have had many versions of this documentation. After that, on the top right, we have access to the search tool, to your notification center, to your profile. I shouldn't have clicked on it, sorry. And to a more advanced tool that allows you to go to the administration section of the wiki, where you can tweak nearly everything. The page index, where you can find the list of all pages that were created, the user index, as well as the application index that are mostly coming from extensions that have been installed by an admin on your instance. We are also able to have access to the wiki index, meaning you'll display all sub-wikis that were created in your instance. Coming back to the presentation, so now about the WYSIWYG editor, so meaning what you see is what you get. So by default, it's the editor you are having. It's based on CK editor, that is another open source project. It will show directly the final result while editing. So the main benefits from this editor is that you are having standard formatting, like, well, headings, normal text, then bold, italic, underline, all that sort of thing. You have access to some keyboard shortcuts that will help you be quicker while editing. And you have also direct access to wiki macros through this tool. So I think I will switch back to the demo itself to switch in edit mode. So here we are. We can change the title of the page if we want. We can add some. We can tweak some part of the text directly. We are displayed with the modification directly too. We have a useful quick access shortcut that allows you to have access to formatting, as well as including some macros directly. So you have many ways to add macros in your page. So with the slash action, with well, the quick action shortcut, with the plus button that allows you to have access to an extract of some useful macros, and then go directly to the other macros selector that will allow you to add some content, some dynamic content to your page. So if I want to For example, add a PDF inside my page, I can choose this macro. One interesting feature that I'm showcasing is that right now this extension is not installed, so I can choose if I'm an admin to directly install it. If I choose it, so I can click on install, it will install it directly and allow me to upload a PDF if I want to. And now I'm offered with my content directly as expected. I can click on save. And then I'm back to my view mode. So that's it, I think, for the editor. I won't spend too much time on it. Now we can switch to the tabs that are under the page itself. So we can see that we can find the modifications that I've just made. We have by default major versions that are displayed. You'll get minor versions each time you click on save without leaving the edition mode, for example. So coming back to edit mode, if I do a small modification but I don't want to leave the edit mode, I can just click on save, and then that's creating a minor version. I can now leave the edition mode and come back to my history, and I can show my minor edits. I can see there that I've created a minor version, so that's it. Also, so coming back on the history, oh sorry, I have to refresh my page. One thing that I didn't show you is that while you are editing in standard edit mode, you have access to a real-time editing, meaning if we were many people editing at the same time, you'll have the profile picture of the other users that are editing the tool, editing the page, sorry. That's it for the editor. So regarding the page history, we'll come back a bit later regarding advanced feature, because you also have access to comparison between versions. We can then go to the attachments. We can see that as long as I've uploaded a PDF example, I now have access to it. I can click to its version to see all versions that were uploaded, even if in this case I have only one version, obviously. We have also access to the comment section, where I can deliver any comment I want. And I will be able also to find all of them, find who has delivered the comment when. And I can also have access to annotations, meaning that I have a useful shortcut in XWiki, which is Ctrl-M, that will show a pop-up allowing me to add an annotation into this page. And then if I go back to my comments tab, I can see the annotations I've made, once again with the name of the editor and the timestamp of this modification. I can directly also reply to any comments or annotations into the comments section. The last feature, standard feature that we are having in XWiki is the tag feature. You can add any tag you want. You can, after that, directly click on it to have access to the list of pages that have this tag included. Once you have created one tag, this will be offered as soon as you start typing into another page, meaning if I go to another page there that I try to add my tag, I'm able to find again the tag I've already entered in my previous page. And then I can come back to my list of tags and find all pages that have my tag inside it. We have reviewed now the basic features of XWiki. I think we will switch to the specifics one, so maybe coming to the presentation a little bit, because in fact I didn't show really all the part of this presentation. One of the features that I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation is this color theme customization. So we can go to our admin section of XWiki. As soon as I'm an admin, we can go to the look and feel and find the themes. By default, you'll have a set of themes that are installed, and you can have the choice to customize it to better meet your needs. So you can choose your logo, your base colors, your typography, tweak some aspects of the tables, of the buttons. So nearly everything is can be modified. It may be a bit hard to start from scratch, because, well, if we come back to the theme editor, we can also manage them, and so we are offered to create a new one, but that's the hard way. So one interesting way to customize your instance is to start with an existing one, copy this theme, and then edit it to better meet your need. So interesting feature in XWiki is that everything is a page, meaning even themes, for example, are some pages. So you can see below that we are also having all the tabs related to a standard page for comments, attachment, history. So you are able to find who has made a modification to your customizations, for example. We can come back to the presentation. You are also able, so as stated, to customize the panels as well as creating a menu. So right now in our instance, we do not have any extra menu at the top, but we can come back to the administration section of your wiki and go to your menus section, and then add a new entry to this part to be able to have a customized way to navigate through your whole wiki and to help your end users to go through all the documentation you are providing. We are also able to, in XWiki, to have some page templates. So when you are creating a page, you are provided with some native templates, but you are also able to create your own. So we see that there we have, for example, the ability to create an encyclopedia entry with some predefined layout. So here we are granted with an example of a template. We can modify it directly as soon as we want. I have there one example of modifications I've made. So I've created a page with this template and then added my content as needed. Finally, before going to tips and tricks, we can see that we are having, so I already talked about it, but a small explanation regarding macros. So exactly what is a macro? It's a piece of script that can be reused in the content of your wiki pages. It's useful for simple actions like displaying an info box, a table of contents, or the avatar of the user. But it can also be used for more complex actions, such as processing and displaying data from the wiki or from external services, for example. The important part is that you don't need technical skills for that, and that you can also edit those macros in WYSIWYG mode or in syntax mode, meaning that every macros that are included in the pages, you have the end result that is displayed, but when you edit it, you are able to, well, double click on some macros to modify parameters or contents, and you are also able to switch to source mode and to see how macros are called through this kind of invite that is calling the children macro, for example, that is displaying all children of pages of the current pages. I think we'll go straight to the tips and tricks section. So I will stay on this demo instance. So we've talked about extensions. So as stated, you have an included extension manager. We've seen that we are offered to install extensions directly when editing a page, but you can also go through this extension manager, find the useful extension you need that come from two main sources: from our store that is providing paid app, and also from our extensions.xwiki.org repository that is offering these over 900 extensions. So we can choose, for example, to add this anti-spam tool. We can see that it has the status recommended, so we have 3 levels of extension support in XWiki. So the pro ones that are paid apps that are supported by the XWiki SAS team and delivered by the XWiki SAS team. Recommended one, meaning that they follow some basic rules to make sure that those are reliable for production installation and day-to-day use. And finally, the one that are, well, classical community-driven extensions that you may use with care to avoid any production breakage in your instance. So each time the extension manager takes care of the dependencies, first click allows me to have access to the needed dependencies, and then I can click on continue, and the extension manager takes care of all the installation process. Same, you can have access to the history of those installation. So we can see there that I've just installed the PDF viewer macro while editing, and after that the anti-spam tool. You have access also to an updater that is already offering an update that I can trigger. The upgrade process is really close to what we are having while installing an extension. Some useful set of macros that you may want to use. I've already added some of them. So you've seen, for example, the PDF viewer that is coming from our Pro macro set of extensions. We have this first macro that is the box macro that is allowing you to, to have a different layout for your content and to adapt it to the width of the page if needed. So each macro comes with this kind of parameters that you can modify. Some of them can also be edited directly inline. I can edit this one if I want directly in my WYSIWYG editor. This macro is the table of content macro, meaning if I create some headings, I will be able to have my talk included in my page. I can include my children macro that is displaying the list of my subpages. So we see on my navigation panel on the left that I have my root page that is page with macros, and I've created a subpage that is named "This is my subpage." Yes, that's really clever to have chosen this kind of name. And we can also have a page tree, for example, that can be included into the page to allow you to have access to a navigation tree embedded into your page. So that's for the example of useful macros. You have many extra if you need it. Now we can maybe try to see how it looks to have an office file imported into XWiki. So let's see how we can do a test import for this. So I'm just choosing the default template that is offered, the page from office feature. I will be offered to upload my office file. So the idea is to show you that you won't have a perfect result, because the idea of XWiki is to be able to be displayed into a web browser, which is completely different from having a file meant to be displayed in an office editor. So this specific page is really simple, but in fact, you'll see that we are having the background that was imported separately and the content itself that is displayed directly into the page. So I think I have to show you just the native format to show the difference. The native format is there, so the idea is that the background is made of a one single image that I can delete. So that's just to show you that, well, the result will not be 100% respecting the native format, but you'll have your raw content and even, for example, tables that will be imported into your page. And once I have this page imported, I see that, for example, the background was imported as an attachment. I can now choose, well, just to remove my image that is not useful, and I have my content back into my page that I've created. We can go also to our page history to see some comparison. So I can select two versions of my modifications for this specific page. Click on compare. And so I'm granted with a raw rendering of modifications, but I can also choose to have the rendered one with the complete context, and then while I'm displayed in red the deletions and in green the added content. So one of the useful features to be able to see the modifications that were made from time to time. We can come back to the information tab, where you will find useful information. The main one is this page reference that will be useful to create links into your pages. If you use these references to create links in a page, you'll make sure that as soon as the page is moved, all backlinks and all pages that are leading to this page will see their links updated. So XWiki is meant to handle for you the modifications of links as soon as the page is moved or renamed, for example. You have access also to the list of backlinks if there are some. You have access to the syntax, meaning that you can choose to add extra syntaxes to your wiki. For example, XWiki is able to support Markdown. We have also the ability to hide some pages, and finally, you can have a wiki that is supporting translations. So for the UI itself or for the content, you are able to allow users to create translations for pages and have your wiki in as many languages as you need. One useful shortcut too is the Ctrl-G one that allows you to switch directly to a page for which you are perfectly knowing the name. So for example, I switch to this one. So an easy way to browse through all the pages of your wiki. One other feature that is interesting for you maybe is the ability to mention someone. So I can use the arrow base shortcut, quick action shortcut to mention someone. As I'm mentioning myself, I'm in red, but if you mention someone else, you'll get it in gray. And as soon as someone is mentioned, he'll have a notification in his notification center to be able to see and find easily on which page he may want to see the content. One of the last features that we didn't see is the ability to search for content. We have an advanced tool that is based on Solr that provides a faceted search where you can find every kind of filters needed to be able to find your information. So by default, it's searching for pages, but you are also able to search only for attachments. Each time you click on any of the checkboxes, the counters are updated with the available content. You are able to search for a specific language, for example, to filter for any other useful information like the author, the modification date, the creator, the file type, all that sort of thing. So really useful tool to find anything you want and make sure that your content is not hidden somewhere in your hierarchy, because sometimes hierarchy may end up to be really huge. And the last feature that I will show you is the app within minutes feature that is allowing you to have something that is really close to an Excel sheet functionality. So you are able, for example, to have a database of entries for any kind of content. So for this example is for movies, but you can imagine to create your own application for following a deployment project, for example, with the status of the tasks, the end date, the accountable for this task, that sort of thing. So this application is something that is really powerful, where you can filter on any of the entries that were created by the users. The users will have to provide some inputs in a dedicated template, meaning you are not following the usual editor we've seen before, but rather a customized one. And so to be able to create your own application, you have to be an admin and to go to the application center. So we going back to the application center, where you are offered to have the create application button where you can choose the title of your app, and then directly adding some content by drag and dropping all the pickers or the standard feature that you are offered to have. And you can go through all these steps and then create your own app within minutes for your end users. I'm a bit over time. I think we will switch to the QA session. That was fast, but I wanted to share many of the key benefits from XWiki. I hope that will be helpful for you. So let's switch to the question and answer. So we are having many of them. So the first one, can we export and import properly in bulk in MD, HTML, PDF, docx? So bulk export is not possible for all formats, meaning you can choose to have an export for a full hierarchy for PDF, for example. If I choose the export feature, for example, and choose PDF, I can choose the whole hierarchy. But for the ODT format, you can, as far as I know, natively you can only export, yes, the current page. Otherwise, it's possible to do this kind of bulk export by using the API features of XWiki that are natively accessible, but that may request a bit of extra coding to be able to have it. Yes, Clément, you may want to add something maybe regarding this answer.
Yeah, actually, so actually we had a couple of examples for projects that we made based on XWikis for some of our clients, where we can actually create dedicated exports. But usually
Yes.
it's to answer some specific needs. So usually don't hesitate to come to us and discuss a little bit about your project, and we'll be able to look a little bit and propose you with a solution. In theory, it's all possible. It's just not really by default in the product.
We are having many APIs that are allowing to do nearly everything, even deleting pages, and fetch content. So that's the idea, to rely on this. Okay, where is the functionality for real-time co-editing? So we've seen that it's natively embedded. Maybe you didn't see it, but we have this checkbox that makes you sure that you are benefiting from the real-time collaboration session. So that's it. So it's natively supported. It was activated by default, I think, since the 16.4 version of XWiki. But you can deactivate it through the end user UI or through admin panel to deactivate it globally for the whole instance. Moving and organizing pages by drag and drop. So we have a new feature, recent feature, that is the pin pages one, where you can have access to it through your page advanced administration section. You can go to the content. Oh no, sorry, in the look and feed part, and you have access to the pin pages feature, meaning you can add pages. I don't have many on my example, so sorry for that, but you can add as many pages as you want that will show up at the top of your navigation panel, and you can reorder them by drag and dropping. So that's not directly drag and dropping, but mostly that's it. I hope that answers the question, because for me, it's the only feature that you are having for that. You can't, for example, just move a page, move the page itself by drag and dropping into the hierarchy. You are just, with this feature, you are just choosing on which pages are shown at the top of the navigation tree.
And so in the version that we are using here, which is 16.10.5, only administrators have the capability to modify the pin status of pages. However, this is something that we have also been working on to bring to all users. So now, if you have edit access to a space, you should be able to also change the pinned pages for yourself, basically.
Yep, thanks for that. You're right. Is there a plan for an XWiki application for offline editing? So not in this specific plan, but we are having Crystal that is developed that may end up to be the future of XWiki. Well, the future front end, or that's really still a work in progress, and many topics, either technical or for the purpose of this tool, remains to be decided, but the idea is at one point to have some offline edition capabilities, and we are already benefiting from a local editor based on Electron that is available, but that's still a work in progress. But so the answer is no for the actual product, and maybe in the future regarding the development that will made available for Crystal. Will there be a Vim mode? So not to my knowledge. The only clue or interesting tool that we may share with you. So Vim is an editor, mostly a Linux editor, as far as I know. I'm not sure about that. We are having a prototype delivered by one of our members, which is the XWiki CLI, that is allowing you to do mostly everything you need through command line. So that's really close maybe to the need you are having, but it's still a work in progress, and this extension may need a bit of attention to be fully useful.
It's an extension that we are using today when it comes to the development, when we are doing custom projects on top of XWiki, and it allows to represent the hierarchy of pages of XWiki as folders and files, essentially. So once you have that, you can just edit the file that you want, or which corresponds to essentially a page content or a page title. And based on this, the new versions get automatically created in XWiki. But indeed, it is so today it's mainly used internally. We release it to the community also because we have community contributors that are interested in using this tool. Just use at your own risk.
Okay, thanks for that. Next question. We embed a lot of Drawio diagrams in Confluence. What's the best way to migrate those into XWiki and keep them editable? So our migrator that is available through your extension manager and where you can find documentation in the store is able to migrate those diagrams, and we are having also a pro extension that is the diagram pro application that is relying on draw.io, so you are able to first of all import content and then be able to edit it. So no, you won't lose your content while migrating from Confluence. Next question. Can XWiki connect to Jira for issue tracking or task backend? Is there any other option than Jira that can be used for issue tracking? So yes, we are having a set of extensions related to Jira. Let me find it. Yes. So once again, in the Jira, in the extension manager, and also on our repo, so we are having the Jira macro, the Jira charts macro that are allowing to fetch issues or to display charts from Jira mostly. We are also having the ability to import these kind of macros from Confluence, for example. So yes, we are having it. For any other options, not to my knowledge, maybe Clément, you have other hints on this, if we have other connections than Jira?
So there are two things to me. On one hand, we have an integration with GitLab, which mainly allows to show issue reports. Mm-hmm. It's called the GitLab application. The main difference is that on the community side, the Jira extension here is a little bit more maintained than the GitLab one. And we are also working internally at XWiki on an extension that would allow to connect XWiki to open projects.
Oh, yes.
Which is an open source project management tool. It will come as an open source pro application, so that comes with that is included in the support subscriptions. However, we should expect this to be more towards Q3 or Q4 of this year. And the idea is that it would enable to have a way to migrate from Confluence and Jira to XWiki and open project, essentially, while keeping the connection that exists between tasks in Jira that are linked in Confluence, for example.
Okay, thanks. Many thanks for that. Next question. What's the easiest way to embed Office 365 or Google Docs? So for Office, we are having the Office integration tool that allows you to fetch content coming from Office 365. That really depends on the way or how you want to embed Office 365 content, because we are also providing, for example, the OnlyOffice connector or the Collabora connector that is allowing you to edit directly into XWiki some Office files. So, but in this case, you will lose the ability to edit it from directly from the shared location you are maybe using. So that really depends on how you are expecting it. For Google Docs, maybe you could help me, Clément, but because I'm not sure we are having something specific for that. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Sorry. Yeah, we do have, if I'm not mistaken, an integration with Google Docs, which allows to create links.
Quickly. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, I forgot about it.
So to me, this integration is essentially twofold. On one hand, it allows to benefit from the authentication from Google. Essentially, it allows doing a quick configuration of your XWiki instance to connect to accounts that are managed by Google Workplace. And then you also have the possibility to take an attachment and then push it to Google Apps in order to edit them. However, whenever you are starting an editing session of an XWiki attachment, you then have to do the other way around, kind of. So get back the attachment and store it back in XWiki, which can be a little bit cumbersome.
Okay, thanks. The other question is regarding the Confluence migration. We want to migrate from Confluence, but XWiki doesn't have spaces. Is there any way to replicate the structure in XWiki? So yeah, you're right. There is no notion of spaces in XWiki, but in fact you can choose to have either subspaces, not spaces, subwikis, sorry, or a subtree of pages. So when you migrate your content, you can choose to have an endpoint that is not the root page of your wiki, and so after that you'll have a home page that is dedicated to this old concept of space. So you'll have to explain it to your end users that they won't have spaces anymore, but in fact you'll have the ability to tweak the rights for a subpart of a tree, to modify the homepage for this specific subwiki, for example. So you have ways to handle it differently, even if you need some change management for your end users. What is the recommended backup and disaster recovery approach? So you may have found in our documentation that we offer the backup feature and restore feature from XWiki, but it's not the recommended one. The recommended one is to have a backup of the database as well as a backup of the storage to be able to restore it in a convenient way as soon as you have a failure into your storage or database. Maybe you want to add something regarding this, Clément, but I think...
No, not particularly.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, if you are on your premises, you must handle this application as any other one, meaning you have to manage yourself your backup and restore policy, and there is no included tool to handle that in XWiki. If you want to move from XWiki Cloud to on-premise or vice versa later on it, is it possible? How? So yes, the easiest way would be to export the full wiki and to import it back to your other instance. That's the main point, I think. We need to manage content in German, French, and Italian. How does XWiki handle translation workflows and side-by-side language versions? So as soon as you activate in your instance the right option, that is, I think, somewhere there in the content, in localization, you can activate the multilingual support. And as soon as you activate that, you can add some supported language. So for example, German. I can save. And if I come back to my editing feature, I can go to the information tab, set the language, so it can be done automatically too. So setting it to English. And I think we will have an extra button to translate the page. Let me find it. Just refreshing. Yeah, you have now the access to the translation, so all your users are able to access to the translated pages. So clicking on the translation link and then is offered to translate the content on the page. So that's the main way to handle translation. We are also having some tools to connect to external translation tools like DeepL that allows some sort of automatic translations, but well, that's a more advanced configuration topic. Any other advice regarding this, Clément?
Yeah, so one aspect that we see is also challenging when it comes to translations in XWiki is that basically when you are, so XWiki will define the language in which you're creating a document based on the language of the UI that you are using. For example, if you are running with an XWiki with an interface in French and you create a new page, then the page will be considered to be in French. And so sometimes if you are multilingual in particular, if you work in a very multilingual environment, it can be a little bit challenging. Well, be aware of this behavior today. We are looking into potentially improving it in the future, but it's difficult today to guarantee any a specific timeline. If you only have a couple of pages, maybe the easiest is probably to keep your wiki monolingual. And also, if you are really looking at doing a lot of translations, indeed, Cedric mentioned the fact that we had the DeepL, or the machine translation application, actually, which allows to connect to different remote servers for translations, and in particular DeepL. We find it actually very cool. We really like it in particular because it allows to translate pages while keeping the formatting, as well as the images, the diagrams, the macros that you already have in the pages. So it's really some sort of a lossless translation of your content. Yeah, to me that's the main points.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. Next question. Our content hierarchy in Confluence is deep. How do nested pages and the page index work in XWiki to surface subpages? Well, I'm not sure to deeply understand the question. Well, the page index itself will display all the pages available, but that's not the idea to have it's not the more convenient way to find content. The search engine is better suited for that. XWiki is able to handle a really deep hierarchy, so on this topic I don't think we have any limitations. The only concern that you may have is that if you are having subwikis, the default behavior is that if you do a search through the main wiki, you are searching through the main wiki as well as all the subwikis. And if you search into a subwiki, you are only searching content into the subwiki you are in. So that can be modified. That's the only point I would see regarding this topic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks for confirming. How do we connect XWiki to our existing LDAP Active Directory setup so users sign in with their corporate credentials? So we are offering many extensions to allow that, to allow SSO login, LDAP login. So the main entry point is most probably our store with the Active Directory application that is allowing you to set this LDAP authentication. We are also having, for example, the OIDC extension that is allowing you to set up this kind of authentication. Sorry, I'm not on the right part, I think. Yes, that's it. So there are many options. The only thing is to be able to set it and to link it to your identity provider. How can we automate backup and restore of both the database and the file store, and are there CLI tools or scripts provided? So not to my knowledge, that was the answer provided a few times ago. This has to be handled separately. What's the process for upgrading between major releases? How disruptive are upgrades and how much custom code is affected? So, 2 points to answer to this question. The process is to follow the upgrade process that is provided in our documentation. So there are many ways of installing XWiki, meaning through Docker, through the standard deb way, through the WAR installation. So depending on the option you've selected, once you are on the documentation, you can go to the upgrade section and follow the different steps that are explaining the way to do it. So you have different methods depending on if you are needing to update the Debian package or not, if you are needing to upgrade the Docker, all that sort of thing. So you have to follow this documentation that may be complete in any ways. The second part of the answer is regarding custom code, if I read correctly. Meaning as long as you are coding over the standard feature of XWiki, you will have first to make sure that these custom deliveries are applied once again after update, or at least kept through the update process. But I think that's not that easy. So for me, the right way is to apply these customizations after the update, and then you have to test them. Meaning that if it's not XWiki SAS that delivered those modifications, you have to do those testings by yourself. So there is no theoretically, XWiki makes sure that the retro compatibility is there, but there may be some unexpected behavior. So you have to test once again your custom code. Maybe some extra inputs for that, Clément?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
No, I think it all depends really on what you're doing.
The level of customization. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So if you have any doubts, don't hesitate to contact us, and we can have a look. But essentially, what you say is quite right. Actually, it's also possible to do customization on top of XWiki without having much risk when it comes to the upgrade. If these customizations take quite light, but it's not always the case.
And final word regarding the way updates are disruptive. You always have the release notes that are available that are focusing on some extra steps or mentions that may be worth noticing before triggering the update. So as usual for any any tool like this is to check the release notes to make sure that you are following the recommendations. Last question, I think. We are a bit late, but at least we've answered everything. What SLAs do you offer for uptime and response times on XWiki Cloud versus on-premise support contracts? So those SLAs are defined in our terms of sales, but you can also find them in our public page, which is xwiki.com/pricing. At the bottom of the page, you have all the SLAs that are listed depending on the level of support you are choosing, meaning bronze only for online subscriptions, and then pro, silver, gold, and platinum. So you can find all these relevant information. These SLAs, as far as I know, are the same for cloud offers or on-premises support contracts. The difference mainly is for the uptime of the instances. I don't have that in mind, but I think it's also in our terms of sales. Let me check quickly if I can find the answer.
So what part are you looking for?
Because there are two questions in one question. It's the SLA first and the uptime, I think, for the cloud itself.
Our uptime guarantee for the cloud is 99%.
Okay, thanks. That's faster. Okay, and that's it. We did not have extra questions during the presentation, I think. Anyway, thanks Lorena for sharing the questions we had. That's it for today, I think. Many thanks, Clément, for the help too.
Thank you, Cedric. And if you attended, don't hesitate. Also, if you have any further questions, you can also reach us at contact@xwiki.com directly, and we'll be able to answer if you have further questions following the webinar.